We'll start right now.
Right now.
Thank you, sweet director.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody.
Hey, brother.
We're involved today. We're going to talk a little bit about Star Wars. So our sweet podcast director of the day is getting tired of me telling her this every night whenever I'm hanging out by myself. So she demanded that we do a podcast about it so she can stop hearing me yapping all the time. So welcome. My name is Cameron.
I am Jeremy. I'm the oldest.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest.
Good point to bring up.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You're welcome.
The most wizened.
That's
Yeah. Paul. The other one.
Yeah. All right. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of Star Wars lore, something that's a lightly controversial topic specifically. So the reason we're here to talk about, so I can get this off my chest, so director doesn't have to hear it anymore.
okay.
Is episode 8, and I believe it's the most controversial of all of the Star Wars movies because it kind of forces a new dynamic into the series, which is an interesting point to do in episode 8 towards 9. But basically, when Star Wars got rebooted with episode 7, Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams was the director. He's meant to go in and like rehash the franchise, like get excitement involved again. So he just redoes A New Hope in a lot of ways. So it's just the same plot points. We bring in new characters, but we bring in a lot of mystery. We bring in a lot of like, who is Rey? I mean, they make a point to say it like 6 times.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, who is your family? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And so like you just go through this, making a big point on who Rey is and her lightsaber connection with Luke's lightsaber and like all these things. But it is just straight up A New Hope. So J.J. Abrams does that. J.J. Abrams is really good about the mystery, about the intrigue, and like asking a bunch of questions that kind of make you feel hooked a little bit. You're like, oh, what's going on here? But then we switch directors. So we go from episode 7, which is just A New Hope in its base form, and we move on to 8, which is now Rian Johnson. And
leaves you with the cliffhanger of he shows up, or Rey shows up, and sees Luke. And she sees Luke. It's a really, you're saying like to that, like leaving the intrigue.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh man, what's going on? She's kind of okay. Oh god.
Yeah,
We're all going together.
Exactly. So here, my opinion on this is that Rian Johnson, the director of 8, he sees that scene of like oh, what's going to happen, the dramatic build-up.
Yeah.
And his intention is to subvert expectations.
Yeah.
He's trying to basically be like, we just did A New Hope again. We're not going to just do Empire Strikes Back for the next movie.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just going to follow the exact same formula.
Yeah.
Basically, he wants to take away all those things.
All the expectation,
all
the potential hope.
What is expected, exactly.
He wants to get rid of A New Hope.
Yeah, he wants to be...
He
So,
wants to end hope.
the trailer even, the movie itself, he wants to end
End
hope.
hope.
The trailer itself for The Last Jedi, you have Kylo Ren saying this. He says it in the movie a few times as well. But really, I feel like the big theme comes down to this line that he says. And he says, let the past die, kill it if you have to. And that's like his whole arc. That's Kylo Ren's arc in that movie. It's really everything to that movie. It's the main central theme, I'd even say. So Rian Johnson's like, no. We find Luke, who is, he made a map for himself to hide away. Like, then he left fragments of a map. That's like a J.J. Abrams plot point. Here are fragments of a map to where I'm at. Come find me if you can. So Rian Johnson sees this and is like, all right, so Luke's hiding. He's scared. Whatever it is.
But he's leaving a trail.
But he left.
I'm hiding, but a trail, but just in case.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But also,
come find
me.
I don't.
No.
Yeah, but you don't unless you really need me.
Yeah.
But also, don't come find me.
Yeah.
I want to die here and drink blue milk, but different blue milk.
Yeah, but a different
green,
like
different
green milk.
Different green milk.
Yeah.
Different colored milk.
You just can't.
Very visual.
Luke loves his milk, man. He has strong bones.
Milk. We love you, milk.
So, when we meet Luke again, the first thing he does is throw the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Which is like it's kind of like the first signal of the movie being like, this is not going to be the same as we expected.
Yeah.
Even Luke says this is not going to end how you think it's going to, or whatever the specific thing is.
Yeah.
So it's like very thematic in that way. And the first thing that pissed me off about that movie genuinely was watching Luke Skywalker be a little baby boy.
Yeah.
And like, oh, he's like ran away, he's like rejected everything.
Well, why would you say that really threw you off? Because why did that make you so angry comparatively? Like, you thought you wouldn't. Otherwise, if you'd never seen anything about Luke, you probably wouldn't have thought.
It
that,
wouldn't
but
have thought. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought much at all. I would say it's probably mostly painted by like the legend stuff that I knew about him before, where Luke becomes like Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, he becomes like the center. I mean, you even see it in Return of the Jedi when he like goes to like confront Jabba or Vader. You
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
He has a centered presence. He's like not scared. He doesn't seem like flinched by the things. He like tells it directly as it is.
Right.
And he like allows the moment. He like does the best forever. Like with Jabba, he's like, hey man, like this is, I'm giving you the chance right
Yeah.
now. And then Jabba tries to kill him. He's like, dude, I'm giving you one more
Right.
chance. Like, let us go or you're going to die.
Like peace and
Like,
clairvoyance,
I'm not
right?
going to
Like,
force
yeah,
this
yeah,
upon
yeah.
you. You have a moment right here. And they try and kill him again. He's like, all right, this is all I can do at this
Yeah.
point. And so then they murder everyone and escape.
Yeah.
So there's like this kind of almost monk-like
Yeah.
trait of the Jedi,
Yeah, yeah, of
almost
course.
samurai.
Well,
that's like,
absolutely.
I'm not going to kill you because I don't want to. There's no part of
Right,
me
yeah,
that wants
yeah,
to go
yeah.
murder you guys. But now you forced my hand. I have no other choice. He's either die or be killed by evil
Yeah.
slumlords.
Yeah.
So, like, you get this big character arc from Luke in that. And then when we see him again, he's like, Jedi are stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Which is a choice. But it's kind of like it's like almost like a mythic hero archetype where it's like you have to be retested by your ideals over and over and over again.
Sure.
To, like, really define them and make them
Yeah.
clairvoyant. Which is kind of where it ends at the end of all of The Last Jedi. But basically we spend all of that movie fighting itself. Like, the plot points are Rey has to be trained by Luke, but he won't do it. So we spend most of the movie doing that, where she's just like, help me, and he's like, no.
But that was just like with Yoda and Luke originally, right?
It
Like,
was like that, but there was a different intention with Yoda and Luke, because
Yeah.
Yoda shows up as a crazy old badger, and he's like
Yeah.
hitting R2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
It is
scene.
good. It's
Great
good
scene.
because it's a test.
It is, but
It's
it's,
a
testing Luke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's not. He's like, oh, I want to see if you're really invested. Yeah, I mean, it's testing. Are you really invested? How mature are you? Are you ready for the
Yeah.
training? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like-
if she shows up, she tests. Instead, when Rey shows up, she's testing him.
Yeah.
Are you capable of helping?
Yeah.
Can you lead us? And he's like, oh, I don't.
He's like,
He's
just drinking milk. He's like, you want to do this?
Yeah, yeah.
You really want to do
Stabbing
this?
fish,
Yeah.
drinking milk, and thinking about the past.
I know.
Yeah.
And so
Really impressed.
it really kind of brings on the theme that, like, Rian Johnson's like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing the same steps that we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
before. We're changing the dynamic. I mean, all of that comes very much to a front.
Yeah.
I know I'm skipping ahead, but at the very end of the movie,
Yeah.
we have basically how Last Jedi kind of works is they kind of take Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and kind of like jam them together. So we have basically we have the Empire kind of like living through. They kind of go through this whole
Yeah.
thing where they kind of have like a dominance, and then at the very end we have the Emperor's death scene, which is in Snoke. And so it's like Kylo Ren, you know, he's like has this moment where like he's like has to choose between
Oh yeah.
do I want to be controlled by Snoke or do I want to kill Rey? And like, you know, like there's like this whole dynamic that's going on there. So he chooses in the end to kill Snoke, which was
Yeah.
pretty badass.
Yeah,
Like,
it was-
pretty good little
yeah.
scene. But basically at the end, you know, like Rey and Kylo have to confront each other about this. Like Rey's choosing light, Kylo's choosing dark. How do we create this proper separation, or do we like
Yeah, can we
conjoin?
unite somehow and
Yeah.
whatever that would look like?
Which ends in the separation of it
I
all.
really like the scene where they're both grabbing for the initial grab for the lightsaber. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then it did regular Star Wars things.
The only thing that really so it's like at the very end of this, like it's actually a really good way to end it, even though it subverts a lot of expectations and kind of like creates a new freshness. But like, you know, basically, Rey goes off, saves the Blessed Rebellion.
Yeah.
Kylo is now sitting there. He's basically the Darth Vader of that trilogy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like I
absolutely.
mean, obviously, besides like his like attunement to Darth Vader, like his the being the grandson and like having that like reverence towards him.
Yeah.
But he at that moment. He kills the Emperor, or Snoke,
Yeah.
and is now in complete charge
Yeah.
of everything. So we're kind of left at the end of Episode 8 with this kind of cool new idea that Kylo Ren is both Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
He is Darth Vader in all things, but he now has the position of the Emperor. So
Mm-hmm.
he's in charge of this whole thing that like kind of comes through and destroys and like breaks the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really cool idea until Episode 9 comes around and Emperor shows up and he's like, "I'm your little bitch again," and that's just like
Yeah, it
immediately
was
where it
really
jumps in.
strange. That was-
It's a real bummer about.
I really
that.
like the opening scene of the 9 too. It shows him on a forest forest that's burnt to the ground,
Mustafar,
and
yeah.
he's just crushing the guys. He's just moving through everybody, and he's dirty and grimy.
Yeah.
And he's going to find this wayfinder. You don't know what it is at the time, but I'm finding this relic.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, look at him, he's grinding it out.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go kill whatever's at the end of this thing.
I know,
That's
yeah.
pretty. And then he goes
Yeah.
down there and he's like, oh,
Yeah, I know. He
Yeah,
just
but
immediately goes into it.
this is the worst. Why are you
Immediately
keep
goes
doing
into it.
this?
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's
but, you know.
it is really killer. I mean, like
Yeah.
the original plot was supposed to go, or the original story was supposed to go to this guy Colin Trevorrow, who was supposed to make episode 9. So the whole idea was that
Was it Ron Howard by the end?
No. I think Ron Howard was the Solo movie.
Yeah.
Well, Solo. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So JJ starts 7. Ryan Johnson takes 8. Colin Trevorrow is supposed to take 9. There was some sort of internal differences. I don't know the exact situation, but basically Trevorrow's out for episode 9, and we bring back JJ. So we go from one director, new director, back to the same director. And the first director has a very specific idea in mind. He has themes that he wants to go for. But Ryan Johnson's sitting here right in the middle, being like, we're done with these themes. Kill the past.
Yeah.
Let it die. You know? And so he basically comes into this new movie and just redoes all these old themes from episode 7 and just takes away everything completely. Like, there is a huge part in episode 8 where Ryan Johnson very specifically says, Rey's family that we made a huge deal about in the last movie, it doesn't make a difference. The Force is not...
Right.
Is not
He's not
subjective to your
Patrick,
family.
like lineage, not doing lineage things.
Yeah.
We're not doing lineage stuff here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like about changing that dynamic to like make the Force more open and
Right.
viable to all, which is I feel like the main point of episode 8. It's like we're done with the Skywalkers. This family lineage is not the point of all of this. And then we pass off the movie again to JJ for episode 9.
Like, nope.
And then it just jumps right back
Yeah.
into the old stuff. It just he undoes it. Not only does he be like, no, the past does not die. We're gonna bring back an even older villain, the Emperor, who's now in charge again, and he's meant to be the big bad of all things. And also, he's always been there, and it was always his point, which is not how these movies come down. I know you guys didn't read all these extra books that were coming out back in the old Disney lineage, but when they started making books, there was this big thing about the Emperor having this thing outside of his own galaxy that he was terrified of. He was building armies, he was building contingency plans, he was building all these things to basically make it so that there was a new emerging villain for the new trilogy. But they wrote all of this. They wrote it for, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 years of this build-up. And then J.J. Abrams takes over again. It's like, no, it's the Emperor again. And it just subverts all of that. It's like, I've been literally like hundreds of hours reading these damn books just for it not to make a difference at all. It's so annoying and frustrating.
How did the Emperor live? I thought he got thrown down the thing.
He magic Sith alchemy cloned himself, is what they say.
Oh.
That's
Like, he maybe had been doing it beforehand.
They actually give it to, what's his name? The guy from Lord of the Rings, Dominic Monaghan or something like that. He's Pippin, I think. He's like, Sith alchemy, magic's only the Sith knew. And that's the
That's the right.
whole-
That's the transition. It's like, and I love that Colton will say it all the time. He'll always say, "Oh, somehow," they just say, "Somehow the Sith have returned." Somehow the Emperor's back. And they just write ... The Emperor's back. ... The Sith have returned. ... We're gonna have to go probably blow something up again.
Which isn't even a bad plot line. It's just like I wish it had been introduced at some point within that trilogy. You know, it's like if it makes sense. If you write it so that actually is the the cumulative, cumulative, that is it's compelling. But it's 7 and 8 have nothing to do with that, and then 9 comes in and is like, no, this is what it's always been about. And you're like, that's just not true.
Yeah, and like however the direction they were going with Finn and his engineering love and Rey and whatever that and Poe, whatever he's doing, it was just like, direction was like, well. All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna end. I've been interested. So going back to like this other galactic baddie that they're preparing for. Had you heard that was the original intention was to go that direction with 7 and then start leaning into that way, or was it like we're gonna go 7? We know exactly where we're going. 8, we know 7, or was it really just?
I mean, I would say that they just were winging it the whole time. They were like, we're gonna get the best directors we can to like do each of these movies one at a time, and we'll just find our way there. There's a ridiculous interview during episode 9 where they're like, was this the Emperor coming back the plot point the whole time? And it's like the cast of Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy who's like ahead of all this, and she's like, absolutely, this was always the plan, and everyone in the background's going.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh man,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah. It makes for a weird thing, and it actually like so episode 8, like as much as I didn't like it when I first saw it, to see Luke be like little baby boy, and like just be terrified, not wanting to confront the things that he's involved with inherently.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, like this sucks, but I can see where the thing is going to go. We've killed the past now.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done. We have to end this in a new way. We can't just follow the same beats that we always did.
Yeah.
And then by the end of that movie, the new director that comes in is like, that's not what we're doing at all. We're going to do exactly what we talked about, which was recreate the original trilogy. So you get this movie in episode 8 that's like kind of jarring in a lot of ways because it takes away so many expectations, but it's shot really well. The cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of the stuff is like really, really fascinating to look at and to like kind of see how things shift and change. But then by the end of it, we just get tossed back in to the old school, the old routine, the old how we're going to end this. And I think a part of that is probably George Lucas's not input, but as so many interviews where he's like, Star Wars, it rhymes. It's gotta all match the exact same patterns of things. And so like JJ's like, I'm gonna stick with that because George Lucas is like daddy Star Wars, so.
But when Rey was with Luke Skywalker and doing the training, how long were they training for?
It says he said, I'm going to say 3 lessons. I'm going to have 3 lessons.
I think she only does 2 and then she leaves.
Okay, so just like Empire Strikes Back.
Just like Empire Strikes Back, there's still more to learn.
But it was like it was like a moment. They were like lessons was she got up on a rock and he did some things and like sense what's going on. Reach out with your feelings. One of them was use your feelings and reach out with your feelings. Yeah. Right? That was one. What was the other one?
I'm actually trying to remember myself right now. I feel like there was another lesson that she diverts to the Force Cave. Because she, like, Luke is like, don't ever go to that Force Cave. Yeah.
He goes, you immediately went to the dark side. Yeah. I've only seen this in one other person before.
And then we get into the worst part of Luke's whole character in this is that he, like, talks about his past with Kylo. Or Rey and Kylo are talking about it, but they have this, like, dyadism, that they call it. Which is a whole...
that was a lot.
It was.
That was a lot. I'm not saying it was bad done. I was just like, whoa.
It's not inherently bad. They did that in Knights of the Republic 2. I don't know if you guys ever played that. The Sith Lords. Fantastic game. Probably the best piece of Star Wars media completely, in my opinion.
Is that the one where you get to pick up your skills along the way? Some dark, as a light force wielding guy, suck the power out of people. Also can do other things. Yeah.
So Knights of the Republic, the first one, I remember playing with you guys. Actually.
It was amazing.
The second one is very philosophical.
Yeah,
very heady. It's about like the nature of the Force and how like you're a vessel of its own will and you lost your own will completely.
It goes into. Let's not.
Well, the only thing I was wondering for that was the whole time they're doing. I always wondered when I saw that movie, what was Chewbacca doing? The whole time.
He's just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
He's
just hanging out by himself.
He's a vegetarian subplot.
So he just was just by himself.
Yeah.
They did that and they just left him. And they said, we'll let you know when we need to go.
They let him do his own thing.
In which one?
In number 8. Because they go to do the training. Chewbacca flies over there.
Yeah.
And he drops her off.
No, he hangs out there.
You don't.
He's eating the chickens.
I know he's eating the chickens.
He's hanging out with chickens.
Yeah, I got you. But
or porks or whatever.
That's his plot.
But that's what I'm saying. Is so that they just said, we'll let you know when we need you. Did it a month? Was it a week? Was it like?
I actually don't know.
I don't think he was there. She was there for very long. I think he was there for like, hey man, you got any downloads for me? Like a 30. You got a YouTube clip I can watch.
I felt like there was some sort of like Jedi training.
No, I think he was set up to go for the long haul. Yeah. But the way the plot of the movie goes, it's super fast from when they're getting chased by the Empire to the next rock planet where she shows up. So it's not long.
Oh, it's not long.
It's not long.
It can't be. I imagine like 2 weeks is kind
of...
No,
wait. That's
you think
I
that's
think
too long?
it's 2 days.
Oh,
I think like
2 days?
Okay, so what ends up happening, right? So the plot...
2 days.
So the plot goes... They get... remember, she takes off, and then they immediately get invaded by the the bad guys.
Yeah. For sure,
Or she, it's in the mid of that plot process. It's right when it happens. They run from the bad guys immediately to a planet that Kylo Ren lands on. Luke shows up.
Yeah.
So whatever timeline that started from that invasion was her not gone for very long.
Yeah.
Like super short.
That whole time was basically spent in hyperspace too. Like they're just running the whole
They're just running the whole time. So and then that was talking about fuel lossage or whatever else. So that was like a moment.
Yeah.
Like a day. I think they were there for an hour.
Okay.
And they did a YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
This is what you need to learn.
It's basically must be how it comes down to, right? Because like I don't know how hyperspace works exactly in these movies because it's all kind of over. All of the lore kind of pops over for what that actually means. But they spent the whole time running away in hyperspace. They're like, we can't stop hyperspace because they'll kill us immediately. And so like the moment we drop out of hyperspace, we have to have like a plan.
That's why they dropped out. I mean, like they knew they were getting tracked.
Yes.
And then they did the thing. Right, they were like just barely staying ahead. Each ship was getting obliterated. That's where the girl with the big nose shows up.
Yes. That's Holdo, right? That must be.
I like Holdo. I liked Holdo
Pink
because
Holdo,
she's all pretty. She's Jurassic Park. She's all bossy and shit.
Yeah,
love that. Love that.
I had the impression that it was longer because I had a lot of sympathy for Chewbacca. Just have to like chill
he's a patient
by
guy.
himself. Like
he's a patient fella.
I suppose. Yeah, if you live a long time.
He's so cool though. Like I said, 8 has some great aspects.
Yeah.
Like the scene where they come flying back in to save everybody. Yeah. It's fantastic. Chewbacca's flying.
Yeah.
Those little chickens are falling all over the place.
Totally.
Love that scene.
A lot of people don't like this part, but when Luke confronts Kylo again.
Kylo is
when he's like
intense.
a forced apparition.
Yeah.
And, like he's just standing there. He gets shot by all the AT-ATs and he's still standing there.
Yeah.
And then they have a little fight scene where Luke does not contact
just avoids
Kylo
it the whole time.
Avoids him completely. And then you don't even realize by the very end that it was like a Force ghost. And also he's not using his lightsaber. He's using the one that's gone completely.
Yeah.
Like that lightsaber is not his own. So like there's like little tells to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it still has this moment of, oh shit. Like
I wasn't looking for it. This is weird, but I don't know why.
It was just like in the moment here.
Yeah.
And like that was actually quite cool and compelling. Which is like a really interesting point. Another side note: the way that the Resistance is able to stop a grand invasion is by our girl Holdo, Big Nose. Turning her ship towards everything and hyper jumping into everything, and it kills 90% of everything that's like chasing.
Or because the big dreadnought.
Super.
The one that what's his nuts is on it. Where he gets murdered.
Kylo and
no, that's where Snoke ship.
Yep.
Because it's falling apart. Because she nuked through it. Right. Super cool scene. Makes a cool sound.
Like visually appealing. It's very cool.
It has that sound where they like like when they did in 1, 2, and 3 when they dropped the seismic charge. The seismic charge. It makes that sound. Everybody's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Very cool sound. And it stops. So there were some good things that he does in the movie. I think he does some funny things.
I agree.
Right? But then it's like, where does it go?
When I think back on it now, it's like we're talking like Rey and Luke just not agreeing, not coming to a front. The story is very slow to progress there. And then we have the other storyline, the A or B plot, whatever you call it, where the Resistance is running away, which is also super slow. And it doesn't do a whole lot of stuff. It just kind of like pushes something forward. So it feels like you're kind of sitting there for 2 hours just waiting for anything to kind of come to a hold.
And that dog shit thing where like Finn and what's her name? Or
Rose.
I really like the scene with I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's a gambler. And he's the coder. I love that they have him come in as the guy.
Yeah, he's like kind of
does it. Oh, it's so funny, and he's doing the thing. But then they get inside. It's just they get caught. Yeah, and it's like you're saying this 2 hours of delay up until the.
It just feels like delay all the way through the whole thing, and like kind of a little bit of a subversion of expectation throughout the process.
All I know is so bad that I didn't want to watch the 9th one.
Yeah, and
that's all I remember is watching that and being like, I'll never watch another Star Wars.
You know what's
again? That's all I remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's great.
I watched the 8th movie was the first time I ever left a movie theater being like, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm actually upset how that all went down.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time thinking about it because my girlfriend at the time was like, can you quit talking about this? Why are you so mad? It's a movie.
And that other thing that they did was when they were going to go attack, and then instead of attacking, the girl crashed her her thing into the other one, which was like,
Rose.
Dude,
that was like the weirdest.
That's actually the worst.
Yeah,
Especially,
it made no sense. It's like I will,
man.
I will.
We don't win by fighting.
Yeah.
We win by saving love.
So I'm gonna give I'm gonna wreck your whatever.
Run a crappy speed wreck. I did like how they kicked through the bottom of one of them. Like, what are these things? And it kicks through.
Yeah.
So I thought like that's
pretty
piece
funny.
acting
Yeah,
funny.
was good.
And then that Rose.
The worst part about the Rose thing too is that like Finn is kind of getting like he hasn't had anything to do this whole trilogy. He never has.
No, it's weird.
But like he's expected to at some point because they put so much focus on him.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh damn, like my people cannot live. I can stop this thing by killing myself in the process.
Yeah.
But I can stop them. Like I can get them a moment of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he spends, and it's so dramatic. It's like 2 minutes of him like, I'm gonna do this. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I gotta do this. He's like, no, please don't.
Yeah.
And then
his ships are melting away.
Yeah. So it's like here's our wall that we're hiding behind. Here's the Empire coming in, or the First Order, and they're slowly trickling in, and everybody's back here. And so he takes by himself to start going, real slow like. And they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, I have to do this. What are you doing? And everyone's still at the back over here. Being like, what are you doing? And then sideline, out of nowhere, somehow this lady, Rose, gets over here and tackles him from the side directly in front of the big thing that's meant to destroy everything.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just right in front of it. And he's like, why'd you stop, man? She's like, because I love you, baby.
Yeah.
And then they literally... They get back into
run back.
the base.
Yeah.
They find their way to run back.
He had to drag her because she was a corpse or whatever, right?
It doesn't make any sense. It's so far. And like, all that would have really happened, besides the fact that she just crashed a vehicle into another vehicle and probably would have killed both of them, realistically.
Yeah.
But now they have to run their asses back.
It was a far distance. That wasn't just like junior high across the field.
Yeah.
That was like running from a different city far away.
Dude,
and they had all the walkers going along. There was other things out there. It was all like everybody said, yeah, just a second. Let them
exactly.
let them do their thing here, guys.
Yeah.
They're going to soon die anyways.
Yeah. So that one, and then whatever, Princess Leia floating.
The floating was, still the worst for me. Because I thought that was actually, it's like Kylo Ren kills his mom.
Yeah.
It would have been the other plot point if... Well, he doesn't technically do it.
His
fighters because he can't do it. He pulls his hand off the trigger, but the other guys do it, and that's almost like a compelling enough point through his own dark side journey. Is like, oh, I killed my dad.
Yeah,
fuck my dad.
Yeah,
but I couldn't kill my mom.
Yeah,
and someone else did it for me, and I'm kind of like sitting here taking credit. Like, there's that conflict internally. Like, you kind of work with that kind of space. That's going on.
I like the idea. The whole idea was great.
Yeah.
Give me Admiral Akbar back.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Princess Leia, obviously, you can make it back. Admiral Akbar, like a fish in space.
The thing with her, too, is when she was talking through her dentures. I don't know if you remember the way she talked.
I know.
It was so bad, talking like this through her dentures.
She really was.
Yeah, and the same as Spock, like in like an old Star Trek. He had the same thing, where he also had to talk through his dentures. Yeah, it was like so hard to watch, because you're just like looking at everything all around.
I know.
These amazing spaceships. And yet, like, they haven't figured out, like...
Oh,
give
me a fucking cigarette.
Haven't figured out teeth.
They haven't figured out the teeth
space dentistry yet.
Yeah, that was hard. It was a suspension of disbelief. That was harder than, I think, her floating through outer space.
Dude, even in episode 7 that was popping off, where she's like, Also, quit making Harrison Ford run in movies.
Yeah, that's he broke his leg. He broke his leg. They had to delay shooting because he broke his leg running away from the giant roly octopus.
But in episode 7.
They were great. No. By the way, he was great in that. His scenes with Leia, the worst, kind of the worst. But he's great. He was great in the series. I love that.
No,
Harrison Ford is awesome.
Harrison Ford is
so funny, so good.
It's all done.
The big point of all of
Bring it home.
is that episode 8 did everything it could to be like, no more of this old hat stuff. Mm-hmm. We're changing how this plays out.
Yeah.
We're going to change everything completely, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Because I've killed all the old people.
Yeah.
I've created a new legacy with Kylo Ren being both Vader and Emperor, and we have a small resistance force that has to deal with the repercussions of that, like, one singular entity that is, like, going to just cause destruction amongst the galaxy. Yeah. And that's, like, episode 8 was not my favorite when I watched it, but the themes in it at the end, I was like, you know what? Like, pretty compelling. It has some interesting points that could work really, really well should you deliver on the final movie. And then 9 just goes back and undoes everything.
Yeah.
I thought
so then it makes 8 worse.
it makes 8 worse. It makes 8
worse, yeah.
look insignificant.
Yeah.
And as much as I felt that initially, I was like, I kind of grew on me. Like the cinematography is fantastic, the storytelling, and even though a lot of the scenes were a little whack, the Leia stuff, the Canto Bite stuff was a little weird, and just running away the whole
Frog
time. Like
things,
that's
the little chicken thing.
Yeah, the thematic elements were actually pretty
I like
there.
green milk now too.
That was awful.
You put
That
little
was
dyes
awful.
in your milk.
But then, so where would you have rather number 9 if it was going to be a continuation from 8? Like, what would have been? You said like bring in another villain, like even a superior villain.
So that
Like,
was
do you think that was like somewhere?
That was kind of the intention, I think. And Colin Trevorrow had a whole script. I think it's called Duel of the Fates online. You can still kind of read through it, where Kylo Ren basically goes off and he finds this bog monster. I forget what his name, like Webless Bog or something like that.
Right.
He's
Right.
like a dark side creature.
We need to work that piece. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a creature in like a swamp, and he's like,
Yeah,
I'm the dark
they haven't
side.
done any bog creatures. So
Yeah,
that makes
not enough
sense.
bog creatures.
Yeah.
That's my actual main point of this whole thing. Not
Yeah.
enough bog,
Bog
creatures. No,
Bring-
but so
yeah.
so he's there, and it's like there's a planet. There is a planet in canon Star Wars. It's called
Yeah.
Mortis,
Okay.
and that was basically where the end of all of Star Wars is meant to take place. Mortis is a
Oh.
place that is like a singular planet that you cannot get to unless it chooses for you to get to it.
All right.
And so everything that happens on this planet happens through the whole galaxy.
Oh.
So it's like a singularity of the larger scale, which is
Okay.
where and there's a Clone Wars episode or a trilogy episode where Anakin's meant to go to this place and he finds the balance of the Force, which is there's a man there who's like God Force. He's called the Father, and he has a daughter and a son. The daughter's light side, the son is dark side. The daughter and son are in a constant conflict on this planet, creating this web throughout all of the galaxy
universe.
Wow.
Okay.
that creates dark and light.
So it's like Greek myth sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like above.
And the father has to kind of make sure nothing gets out of check here.
Yeah.
So he's dying. Anakin has to go to this planet and take the place of the father.
Whoa.
That's his whole goal. That's the balance of the Force. That's what it is.
well,
When
that's
Anakin
a
goes to this
stretch, I like
planet,
that.
he kills everyone. He murders them all.
good, yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
that's
Except-
one way to create balance.
Except for the light side. The light
Yeah.
side turns into a little bird and follows Ahsoka around for the rest of time.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like their story that goes on.
Oh,
So the
okay.
light side prevails, but the father and the dark side are murdered. And that kind of, the episodes themselves kind of play out like the original trilogy does. Anakin goes, he destroys both aspects of the Force and has to start something brand new, basically.
Yeah.
So it kind of plays into that. So the new movie, Duel of the Fates, was supposed to take place there. They were supposed to go there, and everything is like enhanced there. So basically, they were going to get to this place where this evil dark bog monster tells Kylo Ren about this place, gets him access there.
Yeah.
Rey has to go confront and end everything.
Right.
Total.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It has an interesting intrigue to it.
It's not a repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, people wouldn't have understood the context because no one's seen the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it would have been a little out of place. But it does a different job than bringing the Emperor back to lightning himself to death like he does
Yeah.
at the end of every trilogy.
Yeah.
Every single goddamn trilogy.
Oh,
the
lightning,
Emperor's
yeah.
sitting there lightning.
Lightning,
and, yeah,
lightning.
she just
Killed him.
ends
Yeah.
up dying every time.
Yeah.
Mace Windu, he's like, no, I can't.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
kill
Face.
me." At the end of episode 6, he's like, "Ah," and he's thrown down a shaft.
And he's
like,
lightning
"Ah, I
bolting
can't
his-
stop lightning. Once
Yeah.
you get it to start.
Why?
Yeah, I know.
Why? You know I
stop
can't
it.
float lightning at the same time.
I know, yeah. And then in episode 9, he's like shooting Rey, and he's like, kill me. And then he kills her, and he's like, no, you killed me.
Yeah,
It's like-
you shot me with my own ray. You wait, no.
Literally, she's like, I can't take this. I only have one lightsaber. She's like, wait a second, 2 lightsabers. And then it reflects it all back somehow.
And
he's like ripping to pieces.
Yeah.
And he's like, can't stop lightning.
You know what's crazy about that? I think about that now. Remember, because he's like, kill me, and all of us will enter into you.
Take over your
Yeah.
soul and
right?
your body.
So, but and then he got healed by the
dyad,
He got healed a little bit, and he's like, that rule no longer applies. He
Yeah.
can't go into her.
Yeah, he's like, nope, we're done here.
He can't, but he can. Like,
Yeah.
did he have to do some special prayer?
I don't know.
I
I don't know.
have to say the prayer before it happens. Now I get my power. I won't say that prayer. Don't even ask me.
This-
I won't say the words.
The one out is lightning, but it's his favorite spell.
Yeah.
He can't
I
help
would use.
it.
I would use this
Yeah,
thing. I would
yes.
use it as lightning, and also you can use it to kill me, and I can also join you, be you. And he's just like, well, also I'm not doing that now, but it couldn't have happened halfway as he's getting his face melted off again. He's like, no! If you kill me, I join you.
then it's just
He's like, oh no, you got it anyways. No. Didn't have that.
And at the very end of that movie,
Yeah.
we have two basically dead people. We have Rey, who's dying on the ground, and
Yeah.
Kylo, who we think is dead. And then Kylo crawls himself out of the pit.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Rey."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I force heal you."
Yeah.
And then we'll get to smooch a little bit, and then I'm gonna die.
Yep.
And then you're gonna live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I also felt was just contrived BS, dude.
It's a lot. It's a lot of giving and taking.
Dude, that movie has like 3 different death scenes where you're like, the main character's gonna die, and they don't. It's like Chewbacca, he's on the ship, they blow it up, and they're like, Chewbacca's dead! And then like 30 seconds later, he's like on the ship, like,
They're like, I've been alive. Yeah.
and then
You know why though, right? Because you know the guy who in the books one day, who were all those.
killed Chewbacca with a moon.
Yeah, and you know what happened? He got so many death threats, and he got all these sort of things.
can't
Like
kill-
people went crazy.
You can't kill
Like,
somebody's, kill somebody's dog.
He had
dude.
no idea.
Yeah.
He had no
You can't
idea.
kill someone's dog.
Like,
And it sounds like you can't. That's Han Solo.
That's Han
Yeah.
Solo, yeah, John Wick, and he's like, no,
yeah.
you can't kill
So
my
it's
dog.
really like against.
So he came back.
Yeah.
And then C-3PO in that movie is like,
Oh,
I can't,
God.
he's like, you have a dagger, I can't read Sith language. By the way, Anakin
No.
made that droid. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess he probably didn't put every single thing in there, but it's
Right.
like, no, the boy who ends up being a Sith Lord of
Yeah.
the whole galaxy, he didn't program, anyway, all
Yeah.
ridiculous. And so C-3PO is like, we're gonna have to
C-3PO.
erase all of your memory completely, and you won't
Yeah.
remember anybody ever.
You
Like,
get a back.
Okay.
We got a backup in R2.
Yeah.
they don't mention that though.
Yeah.
They just be like, C-3PO is gonna be gone. He's like,
Okay.
I'm just taking one last look at my friends.
Oh,
And so they
God.
erase his memory, his eyes turn all red, and he's like, like
That was
reading
pretty
Sith
funny, though.
language, yeah.
That was pretty great. Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot we backed up C-3PO's hard drive
Right,
onto our,
right.
like, and now he's
Thank-
back.
thank
He's
But
like,
God.
kind
oh.
of. But kind of. He's like backed up to like it was
Yeah.
like a bad Microsoft Windows
I know,
update.
yes, yeah,
like it had
yeah.
half of your stuff. You're
I
like,
know. Yeah.
what about those pictures from last week? They're like,
Yeah.
you didn't save
Yeah,
to the
you didn't
cloud.
save this.
Right,
Good
yeah.
job. You didn't
I know,
do a
right?
good job. You got this old one. This is
Yeah.
this looks like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's when you get.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And-
friends!
And then we have at the very end, like, Rey is dead. Oh no,
No.
Kylo's dead. Oh no,
no.
Kylo
No,
comes back and
yes,
saves
yes.
Rey. Kylo almost died earlier, and then Rey saved him as well. It's like just a whole bunch of things,
Yeah.
back and forth and back. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
yeah,
What is going on?
I think Admiral Akbar was still flying around up there too. Like I like to think.
Little angel wings.
Him and Nine Nub
Yeah,
were out
yeah,
there
he
just
did.
flying around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had Lando back there, so Nine Nub was out there hanging out.
Yeah,
Nine
Nine
Nub's
Nub.
been around since the beginning. Nine Nub,
Who?
the guy with the flaps.
He has the flaps,
Oh.
and he's like,
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the co-pilot to Lando.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah. He
original.
looks like somebody.
Star Wars, I know.
Maybe
Yeah.
the thing about Star Wars that is like they really kind of messed themselves up is that like we start with 4, 5, and 6, weird place to start, and then we do 1, 2, and 3, 7, 8, and 9, and now everything exists in this timeline that's right here. And they keep writing shows that fill in little gaps here,
Yeah.
and storytelling maybe doesn't work the best when you're already have your beginning figured out and your end figured out, and you're just writing a middle plot that's interesting. Like you just have to fill in little gaps here. You can't upset status quo in either way because
Yeah.
otherwise nothing makes sense
Yeah.
anymore. So you have to just write this tiny little story right here.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not compelling. You know, maybe that they don't do it well enough to like actually have it be worth the story to be told. It's just based off nostalgia or money interest and things like that are just popping out.
I think that's an interesting point about those things. I think people would be willing to entertain those stories because I think like Rogue One
Rogue One
worked really
great
well,
example
right?
of the-
but
yeah,
but it
opposite
hadn't.
of that.
That whole series hadn't been finished yet, had it?
I don't know.
So when Rogue One came out, it was before 9 was out, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, but by far, great directing, great cinematography,
Yeah.
great actors.
Really was great, yeah.
Even Solo.
And it was good
Oh.
because a bunch of people died. That you cared
Yeah, all the
about.
all the good guys
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
And they
That was-
redid the
yeah.
last scene in the scene where Darth Vader
Vader
shows
shows
up.
up.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Like,
Really great.
by far, like one of people's favorite movies of the Star Wars series. Even Solo's version, which is a zany one-off.
Totally.
So much fun.
A lot of people
so
on
much
it, but
fun.
I had a great time with it.
Oh, I love
thought it was
that.
very
Yeah,
interesting.
I thought it
Even
was-
though it kind of went through every single thing we know about Han Solo
Yeah.
from the original trilogy and just combined it in
Yeah.
one movie, it still was like actually
Yeah,
fun
it was
to
the
watch.
whole thing was just
The
a different
actor
type of
played
movie.
it well.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it was a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
It's been all over the place. So thanks everyone for listening in. Mostly Mom, who's gonna have to edit all this. So thank you all.
Yes.
It's been real.
Thanks,
I've
Mom.
been Cameron, and this is Star Wars Family Fun Talk with the
Yeah.
family.
Yes.
Yeah.